Good morning, my dear students. See, in the earlier class, we have come across the concept like cost, then Cobb-Douglas production function like that, isn't it? What do you mean by cost basically? See, cost represents the expense that a company incurs in order to produce a good or a product, isn't it? That is known as what? Cost. So, what do you mean by cost of production? Cost of production means what? The expense that a company incurs in order to produce either a product, either a good or a service can be called as what? Cost of production, isn't it? Always we know that a company want to adopt a best combinations of factors of input to produce a output, isn't it? So there they want to apply the concept or they want to apply a strategy that they want to incur a least cost of production, isn't it? So by applying this least cost of production concept, they want to produce a best quality product for the customers. Okay, so this is about the cost of production and the cost. Then we have come across the concept like Cobb-Douglas production function, isn't it? How do you represent this Cobb-Douglas production function? It can be represented as what? Q is equal to x1 to the power of alpha into x2 to the power of beta, isn't it? I have said that it is very important for 1 mark. So it is known as what? Cobb-Douglas production function. Okay, how do you write these terms then? See, Q is the quantity of output produced. Okay, what is Q? Q is the quantity of output produced. What is alpha and beta? Alpha and beta are constants. Alpha and beta are constants. Then what is this x1 and x2? See, Q is the quantity of output produced by using x1 amount of first factor and x2 amount of second factor. Okay, this is about what? Cobb-Douglas production function. After this, we have understood about the short run cost, isn't it? Short run cost. What do you mean by short run basically? See, short run means in this some of the input factors of production remains fixed. We call that as what? Fixed factors. Okay. Then other factors of input are variable in nature. We call that as what? Variable factors. So in short run, okay, only few factors are variable in nature, isn't it? This is what we have discussed in the earlier classes. Then after that we have come across the different types of cost that is involved in short run, that is related to short run. Which are those? In that first we have understood about TFC. TFC means what? Total fixed cost, isn't it? What is TFC? Total fixed cost. So how do you define that? The cost that a firm incurs in order to employ these fixed factors is known as what? Total fixed cost, isn't it? Although the production has not been taken place means the fixed cost remains constant for a production unit or for a company, isn't it? Then, so firstly you came to know about TFC, that is total fixed cost. Then we have understood about total variable cost, that is represented as what? That can be abbreviated as TVC, total variable cost, isn't it? So what is this total variable cost? The cost that a company incurs in order to employ the variable factors in the firm can be called as what? Total variable cost, isn't it? And we know that by using these two different types of cost, that is TFC and TVC, we can calculate what? We can calculate total cost, isn't it? So we can calculate total cost by using these two factors or two cost, that is TFC and TVC. So the total cost can be determined by using the formula total cost is equal to TFC plus TVC, isn't it? Total cost can be calculated by using the formula total fixed cost by taking the sum of total fixed cost and total variable cost. So hence I can write TC is equal to TFC plus TVC. Okay. Next we have come across the other type of cost, that is short run average cost. What is that? Short run average cost. How do you define this short run average cost? See, it is the ratio of total cost to the total quantity of output produced, isn't it? So it is the ratio of total cost to the quantity of output produced. Okay. So total cost divided by Q, if you do, then you will be getting short run average cost. So you can define short run average cost as what? Total cost per unit of quantity produced. So hence the formula to calculate SAC is what? TC divided by Q. Okay. Then we have calculated or we have determined the formula for calculating average variable cost. What is that? Average variable cost. So how do you define this average variable cost? Average variable cost is defined as the ratio of TVC to the Q. Okay. Or we can define it as total variable cost per unit of quantity of output produced. Okay. So TVC divided by Q. Okay, so we can define this average variable cost as what? Total variable cost per unit of output. Okay, that is known as what? Average variable cost. Then even we can define AFC, that is average fixed cost, isn't it? So how to define this average fixed cost? We can define average fixed cost as what? It is the total fixed cost per unit of output. Okay. So how do you define this average fixed cost? Average fixed cost can be determined by using this formula, that is TFC divided by Q, or we can define this in this way, that is it is the total fixed cost per unit of output. Okay. So we can say that SAC, that is short run average cost, is equal to AFC plus AVC. Okay. So SAC is the sum of short run average cost is the sum of what? It is the sum of AFC and AVC. So we can calculate short run average cost by using the formula AFC plus AVC. Okay. Then after that we have understood about short run marginal cost, which can be abbreviated as SMC, isn't it? Short run marginal cost, abbreviated as SMC. What is short run marginal cost? See, short run marginal cost is the ratio of change in total cost to the change in output. Okay, change in total cost to the change in output. Change in total cost to the change in output. Change in output. So we can write in this way, that is change means what? I can use the symbol delta. Delta TC divided by delta Q. So this is the formula for calculating SMC, that is short run marginal cost. So hence we got the formula as SMC is equal to delta TC divided by delta Q. Okay. So these are the formulas, and this is about the short run cost, what we have understood in the earlier class, isn't it? After that, even we have solved one of the problem related to the calculation of total cost, then average fixed cost, average variable cost, then short run average cost, and after that short run marginal cost, isn't it? So only if they are asking in the exam regarding the topic like explain the short run cost along with an example, if they ask, it will be for 6 marks. Okay, and even they may ask the problem related to the calculation of all these things, that is total cost, average fixed cost, average variable cost, short run average cost, short run marginal cost. So remember the formula properly. Okay, then substitute the given values and solve the problem. Okay, so in today's class, let us know about the long run cost. Okay, long run cost. Before knowing about this long run cost, tell me, what do you mean by long run? See, in the long run, all the input factors of production are variable in nature. That is very important point here, isn't it? In the long run, what happens? All the factors of input are variable in nature. Alva? ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನೇನು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಿಷ್ಟು ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ see the total cost and the total variable cost therefore coincide in the long run. Okay, total cost and total variable cost will coincide. That is very important point here, as all the input factors of production are variable in nature. These two types of cost, that is total cost and total variable cost, are variable, are coinciding each other. Okay, total cost ಮತ್ತೆ total variable cost ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಂತೆ, coincide ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ಟು ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ total variable cost will coincide each other. Okay, so how do you define this LRAC and LRMC here? See, here in this we have to mainly concentrate on two types of cost, that is long run average cost and long run marginal cost. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಆವರೇಜ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಮಾರ್ಜಿನಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಆವರೇಜ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ವಾಟ್ ಡು ಯು ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ದಿಸ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಆವರೇಜ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್? ಸಿ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಫೈನ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ per unit of output. Okay, so how do you define this long run average cost? Long run average cost na yav riti heltira illi andre, long run average cost is defined as what? TR divided by Q. Okay, long run average cost is the total cost per unit of output produced. Okay, so long run average cost is the total cost per unit of output. So hence we can write the formula for LRAC as LRAC is equal to TC divided by Q. What is TC here? TC ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Total cost. Q is what? Quantity of output produced. Okay, so this is about long run average cost. Then we have another concept like LRMC. What is that? LRMC refers to long run marginal cost. Okay, how do you define this long run marginal cost then? LRMC is what? It is long run marginal cost. How do you define that long run marginal cost? It is defined as the change in total cost to the change in output. Okay, so we can write LRMC is equal to delta TC, or you can write in this way, that is change in total cost, okay, to the change in output. So by using the symbols you can write. Change means what? We can use a symbol delta, isn't it? Delta refers to what? Small change in the quantity. So delta Tc divided by delta Q. So this is a formula for calculating LRMC. Okay. LRMC is equal to, that is long run marginal cost is equal to delta Tc divided by delta Q. Or else we can write the formula for LRMC in other way also, that is LRMC is equal to LRMCN is equal to TCN minus of TCN minus 1. Okay. How do you write the other formula for calculating LRMC? LRMCN is equal to TCN minus of TCN minus 1. Okay. So you can write this LRMC formula in other way also, that is LRMCN is equal to TCN minus of TCN minus 1, or else LRMC can be calculated by using this formula, that is delta Tc divided by delta Q. So this is about what? Long run cost. Then let us know about the shapes of the long run cost. What will be the shape of this? Long run average cost and long run marginal cost. Okay. Shapes of long run cost, long run cost curves. Okay, shapes of long run cost curves. See, in order to understand this, we have to remember the concept like returns to scale, what you have already understood in the earlier class, isn't it? What do you mean by returns to scale? See, it shows the behavior of production or returns when all the input factors are increased simultaneously in the same proportion. Then how the output increases? What is the proportion of output increase? That can be called as what? Returns to scale. In that we have understood about 3 types of returns to scale, or 3 stages of returns to scale, isn't it? That is increasing returns to scale, constant returns to scale and decreasing returns to scale. So that concept we have to remember here in this. Okay, so we have to remember that concept here. So remember that properly. ಅದನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನಮಗಿಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ? ಶೇಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕರ್ವ್ಸ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಗೈನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ದಿಸ್ ಮೈಟ್ ಬಿ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಫಾರ್ 6 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮಗೆ 6 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸಿಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಶೇಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ನಾವಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಯಾವ್ದ್ಯಾವುದು? ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್, ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಾಂಟ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ದಿಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್? ಸಿ, ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ it happens when all the input factors of production are increased simultaneously in the same proportion, then the output also increases with a higher proportion. That is known as what? Increasing returns to scale. Okay. Then what do you mean by constant returns to scale? When all the input factors of production are increased simultaneously in the same proportion, then we can observe that there is a same increase in the output, same quantity or same proportion of increase in the output. That is known as what? Constant returns to scale. And other one is decreasing returns to scale. What do you mean by that, decreasing returns to scale? It occurs when all the inputs of production are increased simultaneously in the same proportion, then the output increases by less than that proportion. That is known as what? Decreasing returns to scale, isn't it? And even you have come across the example that if you double the input factor, then there is a increase in the output by double itself. Even the output also increases to the double value. Then that is known as what? CRS, that is constant returns to scale, isn't it? Then what do you mean other increasing returns to scale you can observe? That is, if the input factors are doubled in double proportion, then you can observe the output more than that of double unit. That is known as what? Increasing returns to scale. And you can observe the decreasing returns to scale in this situation, that is when the input factors are doubled, the output quantity or the output unit increases by less than that of double. That is known as what? Your decreasing returns to scale, isn't it? Or else you can take the example like if 50% of input factors are increased, input factors ಅನ್ನು 50% ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ಟು 60% ಅಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ನಾವು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಲ್ವಾ. ಅದೇ ಈಗ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ನ 50% ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಅವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ 50% ಆಫ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಯಾವ ಕೇಸ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಯಾವ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ನ ನಾವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಂಟ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್, isn't it? And the third case, that is if 50% of input factors are increased, then you can obtain 40% of output increased. Okay, so that is 50% of input na ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ 40% of output ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಆವಾಗ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಬೈ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಶೇಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕರ್ವ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, here we can see the implications of LRAC. Okay, first if you remember IRS, that is increasing returns to scale. What does it says? What is the meaning of that? It implies that if you increase all the input factors by a certain proportion, then output increases by more than that proportion. That is known as what? IRS, increasing returns to scale. ನೀವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೆನ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ಸ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಸೇಮ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂವಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಮಲ್ಟೇನಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತಂತೆ, ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಷ್ಟಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಮೋರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ increase. That is known as what? Your IRS. So then what happens? In other way we can say that in this way also. That is, if you want to increase the output by a certain proportion, inputs need to be increased by less than that proportion. Alva? So namige IRS concept ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ನಮಗೆ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ನ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ. All the input factors are increased by the same proportion simultaneously. Then it implies what? There is a increase in output. Yes, increase in output, but in what proportion? More than that of input what I have increased. Input ಎಷ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವೋ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ದ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್, then what happens here? We have to increase the input in such a way that it should be less than that of output value ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಏನು ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೋ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ನ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಎರಡು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲೂ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಆವಾಗ IRS ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್, ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಆವ್ರೇಜ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್? ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಆವ್ರೇಜ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ it starts decreasing. Okay, remember that very important point. So you can write here, in case of IRS, that is increasing returns to scale, what happens? As output increases, as output increases, okay, increases, the long run average cost falls, or we can say that it starts decreasing. Okay, so we can say that in case of increasing returns to scale, as output increases, the long run average cost falls, or the long run average cost start decreasing. That is known as what? Your increasing returns to scale. Okay, so what did we understand here? If you increase all the inputs simultaneously in certain proportion, then you can observe that there is a increase in the output in certain proportion such that it is greater than that of input increased ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರೋ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ನಮಗಲ್ಲಿ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಎದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲಲ್ಲಿ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಆವ್ರೇಜ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? ಸೊ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಆವ್ರೇಜ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆಸ್ ದ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್, ದ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಆವ್ರೇಜ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾಲ್ಸ್. ನೋಡಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದೆನ್ ಲೆಟ್ us see about the when there is a situation of decreasing returns to scale. ಸೊ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಏನಿದೆನೋ ಅದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೊ ಆವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಆವ್ರೇಜ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋಣ ಈಗ. ಓಕೆ, in case of DRS, that is decreasing returns to scale. Tell me, what do you mean by decreasing returns to scale? Decreasing returns to scale means what? When all the input factors are increased simultaneously in same proportion, then there is a increase in the output less than that of input proportion. That is known as what? Decreasing returns to scale ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಏನಿದೆನೋ ಅದಿಷ್ಟೂ ಕೂಡ ಸೇಮ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಜ, ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ವಾ ಅಷ್ಟಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ, ಇನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು? ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್. ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ implies that if we want to increase the output by a certain proportion, inputs need to be increased by more than that proportion. The reverse if you take, you can understand that if you want to increase the output by a certain proportion, then the input factor should be increased more than that proportion ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ಸ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಂತೆ? ಸೈಮಲ್ಟೇನಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ಆಲ್ in the same proportion. All the input factors are increased in the same proportion simultaneously. Then what you can observe? You can observe that there is a increase in the output, but to what value? It will be less than that of input what you have increased ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ನ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಿಮಗಲ್ಲ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಆ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ಗೆ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನು ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ಇಫ್ we want to increase the output by a certain proportion, then input should be increased which is more than that of output unit. output ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೋ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ಸ್ನ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಆಸ್ ಎ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ತಾನೆ, ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಕಡಿಮೆನೇ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಥವಾ ಫರ್ಮ್ಗೆ? ಇಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್. ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ when there is a concept of decreasing returns to scale, AC will be increasing, that is the average cost will be increasing. Okay, so in this case what happens? In DRS, that is in decreasing returns to scale, we can say that the average cost will be increasing. Okay, the average cost will be increasing. So long run average cost increases in the case of decreasing returns to scale alva. So decreasing returns to scale alli average cost ಏನಾಗತ್ತಂತೆ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅದರ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್? ಯಸ್, ಡು ಯು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್? ಯಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಂಟ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ us know about this constant returns to scale. During this, what about this long run average cost? Okay, see, we know that constant returns to scale happens during when all the input factors are increased simultaneously in the same proportion. Then the output increases in the with the same proportion. We can observe that there is a same proportion of output increased, which is equal to the proportion of input what we are increased. That is known as what? Constant returns to scale. Constant returns to scale ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ನ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಸೇಮ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂವಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದಂಗೆ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಿಮಗಿಲ್ಲಿ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಆ ಒಂದು ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ಗೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಂಟ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಂಟ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಎ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ results in a proportional increase in output. Okay, so it says that what? A proportional increase in inputs results in the proportional increase of output. Okay, proportional increase of output, isn't it? So if you increase the output simultaneously with the same proportion, if all the input factors are increased simultaneously in the same proportion, then we can observe that even the output increases with the same proportion. isn't it? This is known as what? Constant returns to scale. Constant returns to scale ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವೆಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ನೀವು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ನ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಿಮಗಿಲ್ಲಿ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ದಟ್ ದೆರ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್. That is known as what? Constant returns to scale. Okay. Then what about average cost? Average cost ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ even the average cost remains constant. Okay. So what happens during this constant returns to scale? Then average cost also remains constant. Okay. So average cost ಅಥವಾ long run average cost ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? CRS in constant returns to scale, the average cost, or we can say that the long run average cost remains constant. Okay, the average cost remains constant in case of CRS, that is constant returns to scale. Okay, we can say that in constant returns to scale, the long run average cost remains constant. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ, ನಮಗೆ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಆವರೇಜ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರಿಮೈನ್ಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಟರಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ long run cost, about average cost. So now we shall draw the diagram to understand about the shape of this long run cost curves. So which shows about the long run average cost and long run marginal cost. Okay, x-axis, y-axis, this is origin. Okay, on horizontal axis, that is on x-axis, let us take output. Let us take output. Quantity of output produced will be taken on x-axis. Then on y-axis, let us consider the cost. Let us consider the cost. Okay, so draw this curves which shows the shape of long run average cost and long run marginal cost. Okay, this is the quantity of output produced Q1. This is LRAC, that is long run average cost. Okay, this is the long run average cost. This is long run marginal cost. Okay, long run marginal cost, that is LRMC. It is point M. Point M. So draw this diagram in order to understand about the shapes of long run cost curves. We will be drawing the diagram in this way, that is on x axis, that is on horizontal axis consider the quantity of output produced, okay, and on y axis consider the cost, that is on vertical axis consider cost, that is on y axis consider cost. See here we have drawn the long run cost, that is LRAC, and long run marginal cost, that is LRMC, okay. It is the Q1 quantity of output produced. This is both the LRAC and LRMC curve cuts each other at point M. They are meeting each other. These two curves are meeting each other. These 2 points are coinciding each other at point M. Okay. See, for the first unit of output produced, what happens means the LRAC and LRMC value will be same. First unit of output produce ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ LRAC ಮತ್ತು LRMC value same ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, see the value of LRAC and LRMC will be same when the first unit of output is produced. Then as output increases, what happens means the value of LRAC initially starts decreasing alva. So quantity of output produced ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದಂಗೆಲ್ಲ LRAC value ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ LRAC ಮತ್ತೆ LRMC ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. LRAC ಮತ್ತೆ LRMC ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. As we increase the number of output produced, then the LRAC value starts decreasing. You can observe here, isn't it? The LRAC value, that is long run average cost value, is decreasing, isn't it? But after reaching certain point, it starts increasing, isn't it? Certain point reach ಆದಮೇಲೆ certain value of output ನ produce ಮಾಡಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ನೀವು Q1 quantity of output ನ produce ಆದ ನಂತರ LRAC value ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Okay, it is increasing. Then we can say that as long as AC is falling, AC value ಅಂದರೆ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಆವ್ರೇಜ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದಂಗೆ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾರ್ಜಿನಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, isn't it? So as long as the average cost value is decreasing, the marginal cost value is increasing. Remember that, isn't it? I said that when the first unit of output is produced, the LRAC and LRMC is having same value, isn't it? But as the number of output produced goes on increasing, the LRAC value will be decreasing. But reaching a certain point, it starts increasing. So after producing a Q1 quantity of output, the LRAC value starts increasing. Okay. If you observe here, as the value of long run average cost is decreasing, the value of LRMC is increasing. ನೋಡಿ LRAC value ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಮಾರ್ಜಿನಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಶೇಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ average cost and long run marginal cost here? What is the shape of this long run and long run marginal cost and long run average cost? See, both are having the U-shaped curve, isn't it? So you can write here that the shape of long run average cost is what? U-shape, isn't it? The shape of Long run average cost curve is what? It is of U shape. U shape ಇದೆ long run average cost curve. Alva? Next, what is the shape of this long run marginal cost curve? Even long run marginal cost curve is also having a U-shaped curve. So you can write that also here. That is the shape of LRMC, that is long run marginal cost curve is U-shaped. U-shape. The shape of long run marginal cost curve is also U-shape. You can observe, isn't it? See, LRAC and LRMC curves are meeting each other at point M. Okay, so they are producing how much quantity of output? Q1 quantity of output. So after producing Q1 quantity of output, what happens? The LR, after producing Q1 quantity of output, the LRAC value goes on increasing, and even LRMC value is also increasing. Okay, so this M is the minimum point of LRAC. LRAC minimum point ಏನಿದೆ ಹೇಳಿ? It is a M. M shows the minimum point of LRAC, that is long run average cost. Okay, M. M ಅನ್ನೋದೇನು? ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಆವರೇಜ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? M ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ Q1 ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ದಟ್ LRMC curve and LRAC curve, which is more here in this which value will be more? See, you can observe that LRAC curve, it is on the top side. So LRAC value will be greater than that of what? LRMC curve ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ, LRAC curve ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆದಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ನಿಜ ಅಲ್ವಾ? LRMC ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ, LRAC